So, at what point did you decide music was going to be your life and your career?
It was never like that big of a decision.
You weren't like going to be a doctor and then all of a sudden.
I just, I went away to college for my first year, and when I came back to New York, I lived alone. My brother, my sister, and I have a twin sister. We all lived in the same, we all got apartments in the same building.
Oh, cool.
Mark and Charlotte were on the first floor, I was upstairs. So I still spent a lot of time in their apartments because it was a walk up.
Amazing.
And then I realized that like music doesn't just magically appear. So growing up in my house, we had a jukebox with classic 50s, 60s music, and then Mark or my stepfather, there was always music playing, and Charlotte was actually the one my twin was the one who was more. We shared a room our whole lives, so she always had music. She had like cool like alternative shit like Dinosaur Jr. and stuff like that. And then when I went to college, I just had like a Cat Stevens CD or something.
Okay.
And I was much like more singer-songwriter-y kind of into. And then when I got back to New York, all I had was a Hitsville, USA box set and the Macarena. It was literally all I had.
Amazing. That's an amazing
in my
record
apartment
collection.
Yeah, I mean it was so sad. So I would listen to the radio, and then my stepfather had bought a guitar for himself when he had come to set me up for college, because I lived in Paris and that's where he started his career. And so I brought it back and hung it on the wall and then started playing it, and I was like, oh, this is fun. And then that's kind of what started the playing music kind of stuff. And then when I got a car is when I got CDs. Yeah. That's when I started like building up my collection musically. I mean, it's like so dumb. And then the guy I was dating at the time was the door guy at I don't know if he would say we were dating. I thought we were dating. It was the door guy at this place called Moomba in New York, this lounge that I would go to all the time. And the DJ didn't show up one night. So we got my CDs from the car and we played.
Nice.
And then they were like, but I had already started collecting records because the first girl that I hooked up with was kind of hanging out with, she had records. And I was like, that's so fucking cool. So I was like buying albums because I loved the sound of the crackling. And so I was like just raping my stepfather's record collection, just taking all the greatest stuff.
Sure.
And
I mean, that's kind of what you're supposed to do with your parents' records.
Yeah, I thought so. I don't know if he appreciates it so much, but
of course not.
That's how I built my library.
Yeah.
And so I brought records down the next night, and I'd started buying hip hop records because that he didn't have.
Yeah.
He didn't have that. So
hard to imagine your stepfather being a big hip hop fan.
But he's a big music fan, so he wasn't not. But it just like his records weren't current. It's not like he was still buying records. Sure. They were all like 70s, 80s stuff. And so I started like, I think one of the first like albums I remember buying when I was like gonna start DJing was like Main Source and like Breaking Atoms. Is that it?
Atoms.
And
fantastic record.
Yeah, Looking at the Front Door. I love that emo hip hop stuff. Talking about like broken hearts and shit. We fight every night. Now that's not kosher. I mean, come on. This is one of the greatest.
Wow, I never thought of that as emo rap. I mean, I guess it is.
Yeah, it's all like love songs. It's all like sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick.
Yeah.
Those were all. That's what I connected to. So like that Tribe Called Quest, Beastie Boys, kind of all like that kind of crew, that East Coast kind of stuff. That's what I started buying, and that's what kind of started, like, people in New York at the time, like, you were either, like, a rock and roll DJ or you were a hip-hop DJ. There wasn't a lot of, like, crossover.
Yep.
And my brother would play, like, cool mashups between, like, AC/DC and, like, MOP and do cool stuff, but nobody was playing, like, a night with all of it in. And when I started DJing, I did not because I was like some like trailblazer. It's just like I had to fill 6 hours of a night.
Yeah.
from 10 till 4 in the morning.
And in some way, you kind of didn't know better.
No, I had no idea. I wasn't meant to be a DJ. Like, I wasn't trying to, like, I was just like, I like this song, I like this song. I wasn't mixing, I wasn't blending, I wasn't, like, beat matching. I was just playing songs. And from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m., that's a very large amount of time, and I'm not that strong. So I didn't have that many records, and so I played what I had.
Right.
I had my crates, and I just kind of mixed it all up. And you could at that time pretty much, because it was New York was all lounges,
right.
At least where I was going. So
Sure.
like, you know, when Ghetto Superstar was like the #1 record, you played that, but you also played like, I would play Joe Walsh. Life's Been Good So Far, because it was so fucking long. That's how I would open and close every night. And like when Doves Cry was my like go to the bathroom record, the 12-inch of that.
Nice.
I don't know. I mean, so I accidentally made music my life, but it wasn't ever like, Mark was like focused.
Sure.
He was just like, since like I can remember, he was like in my dad's music room, which before you called it like a studio.
Right.
Like he was like recording songs on a 4-track, you know, like
Yeah.
tape and doing all that crazy stuff. And I didn't really get into music until I was like, oh, it's not just gonna follow me around. Like I've got to figure out how to like provide myself with tunes, and that's kind of like.
So was there a
accidental.
moment then, kind of looking in the rear view, that you're like, it just became your.
Yeah, like
path?
basically I remember writing in my journal after like that first night playing CDs at Moomba, being like, I think I want to be a DJ.
Nice.
And I remember finding that years later. I mean, like, oh, it wasn't like a total accident. I did decide one night that like I liked